the door here. And that's what we want to see. It looks like it's flush, and guess what? It is flush. Beautiful. Couldn't ask for better. Now let's look over here on the rear door. And the rear door is flush. Beautiful. Now let's look at this top gap over here. Nice and tight. And that's what we want to see. We want to see this gap closed as much as possible. Now let's look over here in the trunk. Beautiful. Excellent. Charger door. Flush. Beautiful. And that's what we want to see. So this Model Y, which just arrived, is definitely looking good. Now let's move over here to see if it's flush. And it's nice and flush. Over here, moving on to the right side door, where we see a common problem of the rear right side door poking out. Is this flush? Beautiful. It's nice and flush, and that's what we want to see. The gap on the other side there is a little bit thinner, but these are the type of gaps we want to see. We want to see a nice and tight squeeze whenever we look over a vehicle, and make sure to never rush your delivery. Make sure to do a thorough check all around the vehicle. Check the rims, check the tires, check each and every door, check the glass roof to make sure there's no problems, and make sure to do the door check. Beautiful. So this Model Y definitely gets a 2 thumbs up, and I would take delivery. There's nothing that catches your eye, and it's looking beautiful. So moving on to this red Model Y. Let's first off look at the left panel. Now let's over here look at the right panel. Let's take a look at the hood to make sure everything is consistent as far as gaps, and that's what we want to see. Remember, this plastic wrapping will be removed during transport. Tesla wraps their vehicle in order to prevent rock chips when you're taking delivery of your vehicle. So whenever they're being transported, you're always going to see a plastic wrap on the front bumper. But when you're taking delivery, they're going to peel everything off and polish everything and make sure that it's a beautiful vehicle for when you take delivery. So moving on to the right panel, let's take a look. Nothing that catches our eye. And here's a look at the VIN. These are brand new builds, just been arrived. Now let's take a look. And all these Model Ys should come with the updated interior. Even though it's covered in plastic, I can see the silhouette of the new center console right underneath. So taking a look at the door right here, let's check out to see if it's flush. And that's what we want to see. Beautiful. This is an excellent build. Oh, the rear door's nice and flush. Uh-oh, I see something. Look at this. Look at that gap. Wow. You can fit almost a finger in there. So I would definitely ask for some type of trunk adjustment where they can easily take the screws and screw off the trunk, and they can make some adjustments to bring down that gap, because as I guarantee on the other side it won't be anywhere near this big. So Tesla, there's still some work that needs to be done. Yeah, still some work that needs to be done. Charger door is not flush. Also, this red Model Y, it's not looking good, and I wouldn't take delivery. I would definitely complain about this one. The rear, let's take a look at the rear. And the rear is looking good. Over here, nice and flush. Now, as you remember, oh, look at this. See, you see all these gaps? Not good and not what we want to see. This trunk has to be realigned. And if you look at the other gap on the other side, now you compare it to this, you can see that they are not consistent. The gap on the other end is a lot bigger. So, and moving on to a common issue that we keep on seeing. Tesla needs to get their act together and fix this problem. As you look over here, you can see the door is not flush. They should be flush whenever you run your finger from one panel to the other. So, luckily, these problems can be fixed at your Tesla sales shop or service shop. Just make sure that you tell your Tesla salesperson that you want to have these adjusted. Do not accept the vehicle unless it's the best of their ability. This door right here is not flush. So we got one good Model Y and one that needs a little bit of help. I would not accept this. And the reason why you want to point out any imperfections and any defects is our goal, Tesla, become a better company. And the only way we can help Tesla become a better company is if we point out all their defects so they know what to fix. If we don't point out the defects, they don't know what to fix. So we must be hard on Tesla and make sure that they're building a premium quality vehicle from top to bottom. So now moving on to this Model Y. Again, let's take a look at the light. The right side, and let's take a look at the front. Let's take a look at the trunk. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's what we want to see. Nothing that catches our eye so far. Now let's take a look at the VIN. Now, moving on to this panel over here. Nothing that catches our eye. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice and flush. Now let's move over here to see if the door is nice and flush. Yes, it is. This gap is okay. We can live with this gap. Not too big. So, moving on to the charger door, and it's nice and flush. Actually, it isn't flush. It falls in a little bit. They need to make some adjustments to make sure that the charger door is flush. Now, moving on to the rear. Nothing so far in the rear, as far as the rear. So now let's move on to over here to see if it's flush. The gap's nice. Now this rear door passenger, rear door is flush. So that's good. This is good. Okay, so the only thing I would say is over here, it does poke out a little bit. So I want you to make sure that you take your hand and you rub it against one panel to another. Every single door. Check every single door. Make sure that you're not going home and taking a vehicle that has a whole bunch of defects. Because there is a period that I think there's 100-mile grace period in which Tesla will return and fix any defects that you point out. So make sure that during delivery, you do a thorough evaluation of your vehicle. I want you to record it. I want you to write it down. I want you to bring a checklist, and I want you to look hard with a magnifying glass whenever you're taking a delivery of a Model Y. This is their most premium well, not most premium, but highest selling vehicle right now. They're printing these vehicles like hotcakes, and I think right now that they can have a car made from start to finish in under 3 hours. So looking over at this panel over here, I do see inside there a little bit, so I really don't like that. So this one I wouldn't accept. With the problem that it has, I definitely would ask them to issue me a new VIN. So moving on to this one right here. So, all right, here's another Tesla over here that's due for delivery. So let's take a look at the left light, and let's move on to the right light. And let's take a look at the VIN. So, yeah, nothing I see so far. Everything's looking good. Yeah. So let's move on to the door. Do the door test. And it's flush. So I would accept this. Oh, wow. Look at this gap over here. You see how big this gap is? This door needs to be realigned. Unacceptable. This gap, it's not that bad. I would prefer if it was a little bit more tighter, but it's better than the other vehicle. Now let's take a look at the rear. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice and flush, and that's what we want to see. Now this rear door, let's see if it's flush, and it does poke out a little bit, so it does need a minor adjustment. This panel over here, top here, is nice and tight, and that's what we want to see. Remember, when you're taking delivery, you're going to be very excited. And the excitement may throw off your ability to check for flaws and defects. So I strongly suggest you don't rush your delivery. You never want to rush your delivery. Be calm. Don't drive off the lot. The key is to stay on Tesla lot because they consider a sold vehicle whenever it's driven off the lot. And our final vehicle, which is the black, one of my favorite, Model Y. So let's take a look. Starting off with the left light. Moving on to the right light. And let's check the hood. Panel seems good. And this is what we want to see. Now let's take a look at the VIN. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. Let's do the door test. Nice and flush. And that's what we're looking for. Let's do the door test. Beautiful. The gap's a little bit big there, so I definitely don't like that. Yeah, these gaps, they're just getting a little bit out of control. You do not want any gaps whenever you're getting your vehicle. You want every panel to be nice and tight. And it really upsets me when Tesla has been building this vehicle for over a year now. So it's not like they're ramping up production. It's not like they know how to build this vehicle. So how come we're still experiencing panel gaps? That's a question that Tesla has to answer. Like, how come you cannot get to the build quality of a Mercedes-Benz? You cannot get to a build quality of a BMW or even a Honda. Even a Toyota is made better than this. Such an expensive vehicle, and they're having a lot of problems as far as exterior build. So over here, let's look at this, and it's nice and flush. Surprisingly, the rear door is nice and flush. Now looking over here, seeing the panel to see if it's flush. Actually, no, the door just poke out a little bit, and it would need an adjustment. So overall, has Tesla been improving the Model Y? I cannot say 100% yes. There are slim and minor improvements, but we are seeing the same problem that we have been consistently seeing since February, since December, like these problems are just not getting fixed. Somebody needs to drive the attention to Tesla to build a better vehicle. These vehicles are not cheap. They are a pretty penny. So this concludes another quality check. Thanks for watching, and please comment and subscribe. And that's all I gotta say. So thank you and have a nice day. Hey, if you want to win a $50 Amazon gift card, all you have to do is like, share, comment, and subscribe. And the first 1,000 subscribers will be entered into a draw to win this $50 gift card.